Hey guys, I am here with Dave Earley, my friend Dave Earley, and Dave is the church planting director. Am I saying that right? Church planting director?
Enough.
Close enough. At Liberty Seminary, and just has written several books on church planting and just all around church planting expert. And we're here in Atlanta today with a group of other guys who are just brainstorming about how to really start a movement of church planting. And during our discussion, Dave, you shared something that just grabbed my heart. We were talking about the book of Acts and what's the most essential ingredient in church planting. And you shared something that's a passion of yours, and I'd just love for you to talk about that with us a little bit.
Well, everybody interested in church planting loves Acts chapter 2.
Yes.
I mean, you've got all these people being evangelized and then immediately brought into the environment of a healthy church with all this discipling and community and teaching and more people evangelized. But what we got to remember is Acts 1 comes before Acts chapter 2. And Acts 1, immediately after getting the Great Commission, the disciples spent 7 days praying. 120 people gathered in the upper room to deal with God for 7 days of intense, I think, worship-based prayer before they launched anything. And I think if anything's missing in America, it is the foundation of prayer. Other places in the world where they have real church planting movements, they have real prayer movements. And it was in the DNA of Acts. In Acts chapter 2, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, the breaking of bread, fellowship, and the prayers, talking about 3-4 times a day. Acts chapter 3, Peter and John went to the temple at the time of prayer. Acts chapter 4, they're persecuted. They immediately turned to prayer and asking God to give them boldness to witness. Acts chapter 6, when the apostles were being overrun with the good things of church growth and busyness, they said, whoa, we got to prioritize here. We're going to give ourselves to prayer and the ministry of the word.
Wow, that is so powerful, and we overlook that so easily, especially as church planters. What are 2 or 3 practical things that you tell your students as you're giving them this challenge? Because you teach dozens of church planters every year. What are some of the practical things you challenge them to do in regard to starting that prayer movement in their own life or with their team?
Well, the early church, we know that they were Jewish, and Jewish devoted followers prayed at least 3 times a day. So we encourage people to start having 3 significant prayer times a day, whether that's 15 minutes at a time or 20 or 30 or an hour, whatever's for them, but to have 3 significant prayer times a day. The other thing is to combine it with fasting. The early church had a practice of fasting 2 days a week, and to combine your prayer with fasting. I don't think in America we capitalize on the power of prayer and fasting enough. And the third thing is to pray in community. The whole New Testament is all about praying in community. The Lord's Prayer is a communal prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. And I think we miss a lot in America with the isolation of prayer as opposed to praying in community with other believers.
Great stuff. Now, Dave, one more question. Dave is not only an expert in church planting, a professor, a teacher, but he's a practitioner. Would you take a minute and just share what you're getting ready to do?
Yeah, we're excited. We are taking a group of students with us to Las Vegas, Nevada, to plant a church in the probably the least reached part of Las Vegas, or one of the least reached, next to the Strip, and then University of Nevada at Las Vegas. There's about 30,000 people in the neighborhood we're going to. There's a bunch of casinos, a bunch of strip clubs, 3 Mormon houses of worship, 3 New Age houses of worship, 3 Catholic houses of worship, and 1 evangelical Protestant church. So we're looking forward to going there and not only starting a church, but training people who will be able to plant churches all over the city and all over the world.
Fantastic. So if you are wanting to go to Vegas and learn how to plant a church, this is the guy to follow. Thanks so much, Dave.
Thanks, Mac.
Mm-hmm.